The movie starts with this married couple going to the doctor for a checkup because they've been following a pregnancy program for a while. But unfortunately, the doctor gives them heartbreaking news. Zoe can't get pregnant, and she'll never be able to have children. Obviously, the couple is devastated. They've been trying for years, and hearing this crushes them. Before they leave, the doctor tries to comfort them. He tells them that maybe they could adopt instead. After all, there are so many kids out there with no family, no one to take care of them, just waiting for someone to give them a home. When they get back, Zoe's friend Sarah shows up right away. She already knows about Zoe's test results, and she also suggests the same thing. Why not adopt a child? That night, they all have dinner together, and Zoe's husband can't help but glance at Sarah's little daughter sitting across the table. You can see it in his eyes. He's sad, wishing their own home had that kind of warmth, that kind of laughter. Later that night, Zoe finally tells him she's serious about adopting. She even shows him the adoption papers, but he's clearly not on board. He says he can't imagine raising a kid who isn't biologically his, and that comment really hurts her. She feels insulted, like he doesn't even want to try. At the same time, somewhere else, we meet a young boy named Eli. He's 7 years old and lives in an orphanage. But right away, you can tell there's something different about him. This kid isn't like other kids his age. He talks like an adult, acts like an adult, even dresses like one. He's super smart, maybe too smart for a child. The next day, Zoe's husband finally gives in and agrees to the adoption. They go to the orphanage to meet the kids and decide who they'll adopt. After filling out a few papers, the head of the orphanage, Miss Lang, calls them into her office. She tells them she's okay with their request in principle, but she also reminds them that every child here is unique, and she always tries to match each kid with the right family. Then she takes them to meet the children, and that's when Zoe sees Eli for the first time. There's something about him that instantly catches her attention. He smiles at her, and she feels this strange warmth, like she can't take her eyes off him. Before they leave the orphanage, she looks back one more time and sees him smiling at her through the window. Later that day, Zoe goes back to work, and her mother happens to be there, reading stories to a group of kids. Her mom says it's her way of bonding with children, but instead of cheering Zoe up, it just makes her feel worse. She's reminded that she can't have kids of her own, so she quietly leaves and heads back home. When she gets there, the doorbell rings, and to her complete shock, it's Eli standing at her doorstep. He's got all his stuff with him and tells her that Miss Lang personally sent him. Zoe is completely confused because they hadn't even finished the adoption paperwork yet. She doesn't know what to say, so she just stands there, speechless. But Eli? He's already acting like this is his home. From the very first night, he's quiet, polite, and surprisingly mature, way too calm for a 7-year-old. Instead of watching cartoons, he turns on the news and starts discussing global issues with Zoe, leaving her totally puzzled by how smart he is. Even though his behavior is strange, Zoe can't help but grow attached to him. She calls her husband to explain what happened, and he's just as shocked as she is. He can't believe Miss Lang sent Eli over so suddenly. A little later, he comes home, and the two of them decide to take Eli back to the orphanage the next morning. But on the way there, Eli starts talking about the global economic crisis, stuff even the husband has no clue about. The couple is stunned. How could a kid his age know all this? It's like he's lived way more than 7 years. When they finally get to the orphanage, they're shocked to find out that Miss Lang, the woman in charge, had a serious accident. She fell and hit her head badly, so she can't meet them right now. Instead, they're greeted by her assistant, who checks their adoption papers. After reviewing everything, the assistant tells them the documents look official and legal. At that point, they don't really have another choice. They decide to go ahead with adopting Eli. For a while, things seem fine. Zoe starts to notice how much her husband Alec has changed since Eli came into their lives, but not in a good way. He's distant, distracted, barely talks to her, and starts leaving early for work, even before breakfast. Sometimes Zoe doesn't even realize he's gone until she looks around the house, and it's just her and Eli. It turns out Alec is under a lot of pressure at work. His toy factory is suffering because of the global economic downturn. Investors are pulling out, and kids are no longer buying his old-fashioned toys now that new tech ones are everywhere. To make matters worse, the bank rejects his loan application, and his employees are demanding their overdue salaries. Alec tries to calm them down, reminding them how well he's always treated them, and promises things will turn around soon. But the truth is, he's running out of time and money, fast. Meanwhile, Zoe goes out for a walk with Eli, and during that walk, she runs into a strange homeless man named Mr. Potts. Out of nowhere, he tells her a date, May 15th, 2007, and says it's something she'll never forget. His words completely freak her out, so she grabs Eli and leaves quickly. Later that day, they go to visit Alec at his toy factory. But when they arrive, Zoe finds the place nearly empty. All of Alec's employees have quit and left him alone. Seeing him so defeated breaks her heart, so she tries to cheer him up by suggesting they sell the house to help with money. But that's when she gets hit with another shock. Alec had already mortgaged the house behind her back. She feels betrayed, thinking he made that decision without even telling her. That night, as the family is trying to relax, we see Mr. Potts again, standing at a distance, quietly watching them. After Zoe goes to bed, Eli sneaks out and meets up with him. They talk privately, and it's clear they know each other. Potts tells Eli not to rush things, that he needs to be patient with whatever plan they're working on. So now it's not just some creepy coincidence. The two of them are clearly plotting something together. The next day, a businessman named Mr. John visits Alec's factory. He offers to buy the whole place, but Alec refuses. That factory is the only thing he inherited from his father, and selling it would feel like betraying his memory. Still, you can tell Alec feels hopeless. Later, he visits his father's grave, pouring his heart out about all his problems. Suddenly, Mr. Potts appears again. At first, Alec is annoyed. Like, why is this random guy showing up everywhere? But Potts tells him something that sticks with him. Success can rise from the ashes of failure. The words hit deep. Maybe this old man knows more than he's letting on. After thinking about it for a while, Alec leaves the cemetery and decides to clear his head by playing a squash game with his friend. Later, he goes home and surprises Zoe by asking her to bring Eli to the factory the next day. Zoe is thrilled. She thinks he's finally starting to accept Eli as part of their family. The next day, Eli goes to the factory, and Alec shows him a toy helicopter he's been working on. It's designed to move only up and down, but somehow, Eli manages to make it fly in every direction. Alec is amazed and asks how he did that. Eli simply says that the toy was always meant to move freely, but the manufacturer accidentally disabled that part of the circuit. That answer leaves Alec speechless. Then Eli notices a poster on the wall. It's for Joyland, a famous amusement park Alec has always wanted to visit but never had time for. The next morning, Alec tells Zoe he's going somewhere but doesn't explain where exactly. She assumes he's just busy again. Later, Eli goes to the factory and finds Alec asleep there, exhausted. Zoe shows up too, bringing them snacks, and the three of them end up driving somewhere together. After a long drive, Alec realizes that Eli has secretly planned a surprise trip for them to Joyland. When they finally arrive, the mood shifts completely. They start riding all the attractions, the Lego train, the bumper cars, everything. For the first time in forever, they laugh together like a real family. Eli buys them ice cream, and for a while, it feels like all their problems just fade away. It's actually a really sweet moment. Like Eli somehow knew exactly what they needed to remind them what happiness feels like again. But what none of them know is that this happy day won't last long. The next morning, they wake up to the sound of a piano coming from downstairs. Surprised, they go to check, and it turns out Eli is the one playing. The melody he's playing is soft and emotional, and it instantly reminds them of their son. That's when Zoe finally decides to open up to Eli and tell him the painful secret they've been hiding all along. She explains that before Eli ever came into their lives, they had a little boy around the same age. His name was Samuel. She shows Eli an old photo of him and takes him into a room she's kept locked for years. It's Samuel's room, filled with all his things, untouched since the day he passed away. Every time Zoe even looks at that door, she feels a wave of guilt, blaming herself for what happened. She tells Eli that 2 years ago, she and Samuel were walking together when a car came speeding from behind. She tried to grab him, but it was too late. The car hit him, and he died instantly. That memory still haunts her every single day. Later, Zoe and Alec visit their son's grave, bringing along Samuel's favorite toy. Alec breaks down in tears in front of the gravestone, completely heartbroken. From a distance, we see Eli quietly watching them, his expression unreadable. That night, Alec goes out for a walk by himself, lost in thought. Suddenly, he sees a group of glowing butterflies fluttering around. He follows them, and just like before, he runs into Mr. Potts again. The old man is sitting calmly, almost like he was waiting for him. Potts gives Alec another piece of advice. He tells him that while it's hard to forget the past, people have to learn to live in the present and enjoy it. Because no one can truly move forward or find happiness if they're still trapped in what's already gone. Those words really hit Alec. For the first time, he feels ready to accept what happened and start healing, both for himself and for Zoe. The next day, Alec notices Eli playing with one of those nesting dolls, the matryoshka he gave him earlier. When Eli places the smaller doll inside the bigger one, Alec suddenly gets an idea, something that could save his struggling company. Excited, he rushes to his workshop and starts sketching designs. He even asks Eli for his opinion, and the kid genuinely seems impressed. A few days later, Alec calls up a group of investors to show them his new invention. He tells them this product could compete with all the fancy electronic toys flooding in from overseas. Then Eli, confident as ever, steps up to help him with the presentation. He introduces their creation, the mystery box. It's a toy that contains 5 smaller toys inside, but it's sold at the price of only 3. The twist is that buyers don't know exactly what's inside, which makes it exciting. Everyone will want to open it and find out. Eli explains how it plays into curiosity and how perfect it'll be with Christmas coming soon, when everyone's looking for fun gifts. The investors love the idea. They're completely convinced and immediately agree to buy the product in bulk to sell in stores. Later that day, Alec, Zoe, and Eli go out to celebrate their success. For the first time, Alec looks at Eli not as a stranger or a replacement, but as his own son. He even tells him to start calling him Dad. Zoe can't hold back her smile. Her heart is full. It finally feels like their little family is complete again. The next day, just before Christmas, they all go out for a walk together. While they're out, they spot Mr. Potts sleeping in the small garden next to their house. Feeling sorry for him, they invite him over for Christmas dinner. After that, they continue their walk to the supermarket, where they notice Eli's product being sold everywhere. Kids are laughing, playing with it, and clearly loving it. It's a proud moment for them. Later that same day, they welcome Mr. Potts into their home. He takes a shower, changes into clean clothes, and joins them for dinner. But while Zoe is preparing the table, she suddenly feels dizzy and starts feeling sick. At first, she thinks it's just a cold and keeps drinking tea with the others. After dinner, they all sit together and celebrate Christmas like one big family. Eli and Zoe even play a little guessing game about the presents. Before Mr. Potts leaves, Zoe gives him some money to keep with him. She feels really emotional doing it because, to her, he's just like a lost little boy who never found his family. Later that night, she goes to Eli's room, tucks him into bed, and reads him a story from a children's book about the meaning of the name Samuel. She tells him to sleep well and lovingly calls him her little prince. Then Eli looks at her and asks softly if she believes in angels. Zoe steps out and finds her husband waiting for her, holding a Christmas present. When she opens it, she's stunned to see it's a pregnancy test, and it's positive. After years of trying, she's finally pregnant. Both of them burst into joy, hugging each other, realizing their dream is finally coming true. It's a beautiful, long-awaited moment. But what they don't realize is that Eli, their little boy, is awake and overhearing everything. The next morning, they try to wake Eli up, but before they can, they receive a call from the orphanage. The person on the phone tells them something shocking. There's no record of a child named Eli ever being there. And not just that, the adoption documents they received had a photo space, but it's completely blank. Zoe, confused and terrified, rushes to find the subscription card for Eli's toy membership, but when she looks at it, his photo is gone too. That's when she realizes everything that happened was planned specifically for her. She runs straight to Eli's room, but it's empty. The only thing she finds is a farewell letter he left behind. In that letter, Eli thanks them both for the love they gave him and tells them to forget all the pain they've gone through, to be happy, and to enjoy the new life that's waiting for them. Zoe remembers what Eli told her the night before, that God had finally answered their prayers. Months later, Zoe gives birth to a baby girl, and in that peaceful moment, she feels Eli's presence, like he's right there beside them, watching over their new family. It's as if he was a small angel who came into their lives just to bring them hope, to heal their broken hearts, and to give their love meaning again. And that's how our movie ends.